Hi, Chris. I'm read your book. I really like that. Can you tell me anything about organizational agility in your work?
Really sorry, man. We're kind of late to our meeting already.
Yeah, we would really love to, but...
Oh, please.
Alright, why don't you join us in the elevator and we'll give you the basics of it. How does that sound?
Thank you.
Well, the basics of the organizational agility, let's search the term agile. It can mean a lot of things like mobile, responsive, clever, flexible, quick, prompt, even nimble. But how does it have to do with a company really? Because a company is physical, so let's do a little bit more responsive. If the company can be responsive to their customers' changing needs and trends, the company will be effectively an agile organization.
That's good. Sounds good.
Welcome to MGT News. Today we are here with Viktor and Per, and they will be talking about their newest book, Organizational Agility 101.
Thank you.
So to start off, I wanted to ask you guys regarding your past. You guys had several successful businesses, and what did you do different from your competitors?
I'm glad that you asked, because we really tried to do something fundamentally different from most of our competitors. We've classified change as expected and manageable, opposed to overwhelming and threatful to the company. The imperative that we've always tried to have, or always tried to implement, was to look at potential change as something good rather than something bad. Because if an organization is able to effectively identify the internal and external changes and respond to them quickly, it would certainly make the organization more agile. The better and faster the organization can adapt to changes in its business environment, the more agile it would be.
Can you give us an example of a company that failed to adapt to its changing environment?
Very good question actually, because when we started out we were talking about this, what companies were doing wrong, and we were looking at these big companies, and I want to take up Blockbuster as a very good example actually. Blockbuster, I don't know if you remember it, but they were selling out or renting out, DVDs physically in their stores successfully for a very long time. They were the biggest in the field, and suddenly all these new competitors came into the market with similar service but a bonus features. So would you continue to perform your business as usual, or would you look for ways to differentiate yourself from these new companies? And I hope every company today chooses the latter, because it's the way to go to be agile. But how quickly could you do this defines on agile are, and Blockbuster could have come up with something similar as their new competitors, but they didn't, and this made them lose customers, and very fast too. And they remain unresponsive to the changing in trends and technology, which ultimately led to Blockbuster's bankruptcy in 2010, right?
Yes.
And this is a real shame, because they could even buy Netflix for a time in, what was it, 2002? Yeah, 2002, when Netflix is the biggest in streaming services right now. And they did not classify change as an opportunity for them, and that's where they failed. For them as well not worthwhile looking at their existing business model. So what sets Blockbuster and its competitors apart from each other, I would say, is the organizational structure that Blockbuster has. It has a very big deterrent to an agile culture within the company. Their decision making was very slow in its old overly hierarchical environment and management styles, where the competitors kept on moving forward through the use of technology in the industry.
Since you mentioned technology, especially here in San Francisco, we have a lot of companies that are very dependent on technological advancement. How could they use organizational agility to their advantage?
I'm very glad that you asked, because what does technology actually have to do with organizational agility, right? Technology, especially in San Francisco, it's ever changing, and in industries that are heavily relying on technology or that show clues of growing dependency on technology, this is where we say, and that's what we said in our book, that's where companies should look out for the 3 A's of organizational agility, basically.
Yeah, could you go more in depth on the 3 A's?
Oh yeah, sure. So the first of the 3A is anticipate, right? Anticipate stands for the way a company views change. If a company successfully anticipates change in technology and its customer environment, it views it as an opportunity to disrupt within and outside of its organization, right? Disrupt means to induce change on a regular basis, and how they do it is that they can move talents from departments to different departments, so they're more cross-functional. Adapt, the second A, stands for creating this inclusive environment where you break down the barriers such as hierarchies to create a fast-paced workforce that leverages this collective knowledge. In addition to that, it is also the creation of an organizational culture in which employees will be rewarded and recognized when they are sharing their ideas. The act part of the 3A's relates to the identification of specific areas that require more organizational agility. It is the restriction of those hierarchical levels that should lead to a more empowered workforce that embraces its diversity to be very productive.
You guys talked a lot about the advantages of using organizational agility. What are the disadvantages? What are some downsides to making your company more agile? And could you be more specific about it?
That's actually a really great question, because a lot of people only focus on the advantages of it, but there actually is a very big disadvantage that we go into in our book, and we call it the learning curve. The time in which employees have to adapt to new processes and technology that are introduced to them. So for example, it will make no sense for a company that only assembles computer parts to be agile, because it's a set process on how those computer parts should be assembled. Being more agile would not be very beneficial, since it's still a set process. Compared to an agile mindset where process is not strict, we're simply not needing of using employees in what is expected of them to assemble these computer parts.
Lastly, is organizational agility the key to success?
It depends.